Black Clover Chapter 260, the official release, is out, and today, you already know, we are here to do a chapter breakdown now that the right translations are finally out. And of course, this video is going to be more focused on the MVP of this chapter, Zenon, but there is a lot of misunderstandings and false information that is being spread after this chapter came out, and today we are here to debunk that as well. But before we do that, let's break down certain parts about the chapter, which I didn't talk about much in my review. Now, what took me by surprise in this chapter was the start where we see Asta, even after defeating Dante in his devil form, we see that even out of his devil form, his arm is still demonic. It still has that exchange price that he did with his devil. Now, I theorized about this in many videos that Asta's arm may or may not stay like that, and if it doesn't, maybe it will look like the Dark Triad's curse mark, and maybe it will look like a tattoo, like a tribal tattoo on his arm. But in this chapter, we've seen Asta throughout the whole chapter, out of his devil form, his arm was still like that. So maybe since Asta is very different than the Dark Triad members, his arm will be permanent, just like that. And that's going to be scary once he goes back to the Clover Kingdom. I want to see the interaction that he will have with Damnatio Kira, because he already tried to use Asta as a scapegoat during the Elf Reincarnation War when they fought the War Magic Devil and tried to blame it on Asta since Asta has a devil inside his grimoire. But now that he sees Asta's demonic arm, maybe he will blame that on Yami, saying that, okay, you're the reason why Yami got captured. Anything can happen, but maybe Damnatio, he can trust Asta, but not his devil. And I feel like Damnatio definitely needs a separate video one day. Because if you think about it, him and Zenon are very similar. They do things for the benefit of their kingdom. That is something they always state. So he's very mysterious too, so he definitely deserves his own video. We then see Asta fall into Yami's arm. He's saying that, good job, well done Asta, you nutcase. And he's saying, yes sir. And I see a lot of people are saying that Yami is like a father figure to Asta, which I can definitely see that too. I always talk about that and make fun of it on Twitter, saying Yami is Asta's father, confirmed with proof. Follow me on there, link in the description by the way. But Asta and Yami, they have so much in common. But we gotta remember who's the real father figure to Asta's life. And that is the father of the church, Father Orsi, because this man has been raising Asta, since they were kids. He sees them as his sons. I get it. I see the Yami and Asta comparisons, and I see the son and father figure type, but we gotta put some respect on this guy's name. Give that man his credit.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
We see this really cute moment, which pretty much confirmed Gray X Gauche is very real, because if you didn't believe it before, believe it now, because this chapter, you see them two embracing each other, well, mostly Gray, she's squeezing them tight, and I didn't notice this, but Vanessa is blushing looking at it. I totally missed this in my chapter review, but after reading a few times, I did notice that Vanessa, she's looking over there blushing, saying, oh my, what's going on over there? So she has to know that Gray loves Gauche, because they're girls. They gotta have a lot of girl talks. Since Vanessa, she is the oldest out of all the girls in the Black Bulls, so it's possible that they always go to her for advice, because when she seen Noelle, she said, I will teach you some big girl things too, which she gave a wink to Noelle after she said it. I think we know what that implies, but we're not gonna get into that, okay? This kid friendly. We then see Yami talks about Dante, saying even though he's on his last leg, even though he's on his way out, we should tie him up. This also implies that Dante was going to die. Yami knew that after that blow that Asta did with his NC Magic Katana sword, whatever we're gonna call it, soon once we get a proper name for it, Dante was going to die. He was done. But Yami, he was happy. He said this is for a happy ending. We nab the enemy's top devil host. Then we get the scariest panel that Tabata has drawn in this chapter, and it was Zenon showing up out of nowhere, just staring at Yami with this death stare. He's like a lion looking at his prey. He's ready to be hunted. And he just got this cold killer look. I don't know what Tabata has been watching lately. I don't know if it's been some paranormal activity type beat movies or Jason or Michael Myers type movies. I don't know. But this was a jump scare moment. He's looking at Yami on all the 1,000 ways that he can kill him in this moment right now. You ever watch 1,000 Ways to Die? Well, that's the eyes of Zenon. The way he's looking at Yami, that's what he's thinking. But he knows he can't because they need Yami. Vanessa and Dante, they are scary as well. They give weird faces, especially Vanessa. But Zenon, he has the most intimidating look, because we knows when he shows up, which has been proven since his debut, he gets the job done. We seen what he did in the Diamond Kingdom, we seen what he did in the Clover Kingdom, and now we see this. Now, this is where the crazy misconception that a lot of people had after reading this chapter, everyone felt as though, okay, that means that if Zenon showed up to Yami without him noticing that fast, that means that Zenon is faster than Yami's ki detection. Which wouldn't make sense, not even the slightest, because guys, we gotta remember, Yami just fought Dante. He used up pretty much all his mana, he was exhausted. When you're exhausted, your mind is not focused. Well, all that adrenaline that you had previously and all of a sudden it just goes to zero, yeah, you're gonna drop your guard a lot because now you just want a breather. It's like boxing. You guys know that if you ever boxed before in your life, that once you're tired throughout rounds, your punches start getting slower, your defense gets weaker because your body, your mind's telling you to move, but you can't move because your body is tired. And that's what Yami was in this case. He was exhausted. Not only that, no one expects Zenon to show up in a dimension. Because when he showed, we see a dimension behind him, like he can just teleport. So this puts him in a category where he's like a spatial mage user, but probably different than Finral and Vaultos, because we know that even if you are a spatial mage user, your spatial magic can still be different. Just take Langris for example. But since we know Zenon has double powers, that power alone is going to be amplified with the double mana. And since he can teleport like that, it probably makes sense why he got into the Clover Kingdom so easily without alerting anyone. Finral will start to notice that Zenon also is carrying William, and he noticed that now that he has William and Yami, the plan to make the trio clipped off is now in the process. Now it can happen now that he has both. I wish we would have seen more interaction with Yami when he's seen William, maybe some shock factor or whatnot, but we didn't see that this chapter, so hopefully next chapter we will. Because Yami and William, they are really close, they're rivals, so I wish we would have seen Yami react in a way where he was distressed and sad that, or upset that they have William as well. Zenon then reveals the reason why he's even there. He said the magic fluctuations concerned me, so I came to it. And then he roasts Dante so bad in this chapter where, in the official release, it even sounds worse. The fan translations, it really didn't sound that bad, but the official release made it sound even worse. He said that, you said all that and then you lost. You are hopeless. Now I get it. They are siblings, so siblings, they roast each other on a daily basis, but this is brutal. Your brother is dying and you call him hopeless. That's crazy. Zenon then noticed Asta's devil arm. He just staring at him, just off in the distance, not saying a word, and I think that he's now noticing that Asta is a devil user because Dante wasn't on Asta's radar. They didn't know nothing about Asta. And now that Zenon, this is his first time seeing Asta, he's like, wow, this guy's a devil user as well. So Zenon, without hesitation, he goes in and tries to attack Asta, but Finral does a good job by blocking and sending Zenon's bone magic to another location. But we see that Zenon, his bones look like it's shaking, or his arm look like it's shaking, and he thinks about Yuno. And he says that's his, maybe it's good that I got him early. So it seems as though Yuno's Spirit of Zephyr's sword had to cause a little damage to Zenon, despite the fact that Yuno's sword wasn't fast as Zenon's bones as it recovered, but it seemed as though it had some sort of effect, and Zenon probably didn't realize that until he tried to fight Asta and Finral. So that's probably why right after that he's like, we gotta go, time is up. He didn't want to waste any more time. So that's some good news, that's some good sign for Yuno. So look out, Yuno fans. Yuno probably did a little something. Now, this was sad to see because we see that everyone is trying their best to protect Yami. They're trying to get him back. They're trying everything. Nothing is working. But Asta's case, he's begging his devil. He's like, please give me power. And this devil is saying, not possible. Your body can't even move anymore. So as things stand, I can't make another contract with you. It's your own fault for being weak. That is cold, hard truth right there. For his anti-magic devil to say that to Asta, he's right. And Asta is going to remember that forever in this arc. And he's going to know that he needs to stop making contracts whenever he's in a situation like this. He needs to become strong with the powers that he has on his own. But with all that effort that everyone put out trying to protect Yami, trying to bring him back, there is nothing that he could have done. Everyone was making jokes. I seen someone in my comment section mention that Oda, the one that makes One Piece, the rumor about his editor was crying at the most recent chapter of One Piece. Someone commented and said that this was the chapter Oda's editor really cried to. And I just thought that was funny because I read the latest One Piece chapter. It wasn't really nothing to cry much to. I even watched the reviewers who review One Piece. They said this really wasn't nothing to cry about. But Yami, this chapter, this was something to cry about. So I'm very excited to see what happens next chapter. This was a sad one. So you guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Comment below and tell me your thoughts about this. Subscribe if you are new with notification bells on. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, and I'm out.